Good morning. Oh, you can do better than that. Good morning. Welcome to the House of Swing. My name is Todd Stoll. I'm the Vice President for Education here at Jazz at Lincoln Center, and we call this place the House of Swing. Can I hear you all say that? The House of Swing. Very good. We'd like to welcome you all here. First of all, how about a round of applause for your teachers, your principals, parents, all the folks that helped get you here today. There we go. Very good. We'd like to thank our funder for today's concert for making it possible, Ahmet and Mika Ertegun. How about a hand for them? Today you're going to hear some wonderful music celebrating the centennial of a great singer who was born named Joe Williams. And without any further ado, please welcome to the stage the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra with Milton Suggs, led by Vincent Gardner.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Oh, we can do better than that. Good morning. Now, we're supposed to be the sleeping ones. This sounds like y'all are asleep. Good morning. All right. There we go. There we go. Good morning, and thank you all for coming here today. Today we're going to talk about one of America's greatest singers. That's right, Joe Williams. That's what she just said. Everyone say that name, Joe Williams. That's right. Now, Joe Williams was one of the greatest singers in all of jazz music and one of the most popular singers of all time. Audiences, young and old, loved Joe because he would tell the most incredible stories with his music and connect with his listeners in a deep and profound way. He was famous for the way that he sang the blues. Now, when Joe sang the blues, he could make you feel better in times of sorrow, or he could sing and make you want to get up and dance. Joe was born in Georgia, but as a young boy, he moved with his family to Chicago, Illinois. And he grew up on the south side of Chicago. Joe's family was one of millions that moved from the south to the north in the early 20th century in search of better opportunities in their lives. This is called the Great Migration. Everybody say, the Great Migration. Okay. Even as a young boy, Joe loved to sing. Now, do you know where Joe would sing when he was a young boy? Where do y'all think he would sing? Where's that? In the shower. What? On the corner? Is that what you said? That's exactly right. Just what you said. He sang in church. That's right. You're right. He sang in church. And in fact, he and some of his friends sang in a gospel group called the Jubilee Boys. And they would perform at churches throughout Chicago. Now, gospel music has really deep roots in the history of African Americans, and its sound is linked to the styles of jazz and blues that Joe would sing later in his life. Now let's hear what a gospel group would have sounded like at the time. I'd like to introduce you all to Mr. Chris Crenshaw, Mr. Marcus Printup, and Mr. Milton Suggs. Chris Crenshaw and the Thompson and otherwise Southerners Gospel Quartet. And we're going to sing a little song for you entitled, I'll Fly Away.
Oh, some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shores. Oh, I'll fly away. I'm singing, I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. Oh, I'll fly away. Yeah, I'll fly away. I'll fly away. I'm gonna fly away. I'll 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 fly away. One of these old mornings, I'll fly away. Won't be very long. I'll fly away. You're gonna look for me. I'll fly away. I'll be gone on home. I'll fly away. Gonna chat with the Father. I'll fly away. Gonna talk with the Son. I'll fly I'm gonna tell him about this world that I just came from. I'll fly away. And I'm singing, I'll fly away, oh glory. Yes, I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. Oh, I'll fly away.
Chris Crenshaw, Marcus Printup, Milton Suggs. Now, gospel quartets, they sing expressively with things like lead vocals and backgrounds, riffs, call and response, and these are some of the same musical characteristics that are in jazz music. And Joe Williams would later bring many of these into his own style of blues singing. Now, singing this style in churches was very influential to Joe because people had very strong emotional and spiritual reactions when they heard gospel music. Joe remembered that and kept that type of feeling in his music throughout his life, no matter what type of music he was singing. Now, when Joe grew up, specifically when he was a teenager, it was the 1930s. How many of y'all were around then? It was a very special time in American music called the swing era. Everybody say the swing era. During that time, jazz bands like the one you see here on stage were everywhere, and they were making the country dance. Everybody was listening to jazz, everybody was dancing to jazz, and everybody was singing to jazz. Now, Joe Williams, because he lived in Chicago, was right in one of the centers for jazz in America. He heard a lot of bands, and in particular, he heard a lot of big band. Who knows what a big band is? What's a big band? It's a big band, that's right. I can't argue with that. That's exactly what it is. It's a big band. Now, the band that you see here on stage, the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra, is a big band. We have a trumpet section. We have the greatest section, which is the trombone section. We have a saxophone section. How come y'all didn't clap like that for the trombones? We're going to talk about that. And over here, we have what's called the rhythm section. We have the piano, the guitar, the bass, and the drums. And they keep the band and they keep everybody feeling good. Let us hear what that sounds like. Now you hear how that rhythm section is keeping time? Now maybe it's making you tap your toes. Maybe you want to get up and dance. That means it's doing its job. It's swinging. Well, during the 1930s, there was one big band in particular that had the best rhythm section. It was known as one of the hardest swinging bands in the country. Do you know who that was? Man, y'all are geniuses. You're exactly right. That was the Count Basie Orchestra. Everybody say, the Count Basie Orchestra. That's right. But they weren't in Chicago. They were a couple of states to the west in Kansas City, Missouri. But even though they were a few states away, the sound they came up with in Kansas City during this time would take America by storm. They could swing, they could get people to dance, and they could play the blues. Now let's hear a blues that the Count Basie Orchestra would play during the 1930s. This is entitled Going to Chicago, and we'd like to introduce you to our featured vocalist for these shows, Mr. Milton Suggs, Going to Chicago.
Going to Chicago. Sorry, but I can't take you. Going to Chicago. Sorry, but I can't take you. There ain't nothing in Chicago for a mean old woman to do. When you see me coming, baby, raise your window high. When you see me coming, baby, raise your window high. But when you see me passing, baby, hang your head and cry. Hurry down, sunshine. I want to see what tomorrow brings. Hurry down, sunshine. I want to see what tomorrow brings. Well, the sun went down. Tomorrow brought us rain. You so mean and evil. You do things you ought not do. You're so mean and evil. You do things you ought not do. But you You got my brand of honey. I guess I'll have to put up with you.
On the vocal. Going to Chicago. Now, did you hear how that song told a story? Did it tell a happy story or a sad story? Okay, everybody that thinks it's a happy story, yell out happy. Okay, everyone that thinks it's a sad story, yell out sad. Okay, we think it's a sad story. Well, that's right. And the first people were right too. Parts of it were sad. But there were also moments of hope in the song. That's the blues. Now, what does that mean to you? What do the blues mean to you? Sadness. What else? I see my friend over here. What else? What does the blues mean to you? Happiness with sadness. That's great. That's a great answer. What do the blues mean to you? Chickens. That's a great answer too. Chickens can give you the blues too if you don't cook them right. What do you have? What does the blues mean to you? You right there. Hope. Hope. Wow, the blues are all of those things. Everybody in here is exactly right. There's no wrong answer. Now, the blues has many definitions. It's a type of music, it's a form of music, it's an attitude, and it's a feeling. The blues can be happy, or the blues can be sad. In fact, when you feel sad, you might say that you have the blues. When you play the blues or hear the blues, you feel something. In fact, if you're feeling sad, the blues can make you feel better because it's a story that brings you hope, just like our friend over here said. So let's think about the story in the song that we just heard, Going to Chicago. It follows what we call a blues form. Now, what I mean by that is that you sing a line of music that tells the listener what you're dealing with. In Going to Chicago, it starts off with this line. Going to Chicago, sorry but I can't take you. Right? Then it repeats that line again. Going to Chicago, sorry that I can't take you. But you can't just keep repeating that same line over and over. That would be boring, and it wouldn't tell the listener anything. So you have to say something about it, the first line. So then you sing, there's nothing in Chicago that a mean old woman can do. So the blues tells a story by stating something, by repeating it, and then answering it and resolving it. Now, we asked some students that are here today to write their own blues in class so we could perform some today. And we have a few of them here. Would you all like to hear the blues that your classmates wrote? All right, all right. So Mr. Suggs and I are going to sing some blues that were written by people, by your classmates. This first one comes from Nima Shintov from Lycée Francais. Oh, I know that one. I know you don't know it because of the way I said it. I know that. And this one is about how much she loves being with her friends. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Always, always, always fights with my friends. Always, always, always fights with my friends. Will it ever come to an end? All right. Now this next one comes from Joe Kawama from Tenafly Middle School in New Jersey. Oh, he must be back there somewhere. And this one talks about something that everybody has the blues with at some point, how much they love math. It's called the Math Count Blues. Math Count! questions, oh, I don't know. Math count questions, oh, I don't know. Product, quotient, fractional exponents, oh no, oh no, oh no. Thank you. Now Mr. Suggs is going to sing some blues, also written by some of your classmates.
All right, so we got one from Noflani Sumahoro. And this one is about, I guess you could say it's about someone who is a little heartbroken and lonely. 1, 2, 3, 4. Today I don't have my baby by my side. Today I don't have my baby by my side. I'm lonely, but if I say I miss you, I lied. Now we have one more from Sophie Garcia, and it's also about being a little bit sad. And Sophie Garcia wrote about how someone makes her sad, but it's okay. So let's see how that turned out. Baby, you make me so sad. Baby, you make me so sad. But it's okay, because I know that liking you was bad. Oh, so bad. Sophie Garcia, Noflani.
Milton Suggs on the vocals. Let's give a big hand for all of our students that wrote blues for this show this morning. Well, y'all got some real blues out there. Now, we spent a lot of time talking about Count Basie, and you might be wondering, why am I talking about the Count Basie Orchestra if they were based in Kansas City when Joe Williams was based in Chicago? Well, as the 1930s gave way to the 1940s, the Count Basie Orchestra toured America, performing at dance halls, nightclubs, and concert halls throughout the nation. They would travel, perform, and check out other big bands, listening closely to what other musicians were coming up with and borrowing ideas and artists that they liked. That way, bands could share what they were working on and communicate with each other. Now, you know who else began to tour? That's right, Joe Williams. That's right, Joe Williams. As he got older, Joe decided he loved to sing so much that he began to sing professionally. He first started singing in clubs in Chicago. Then he started to play at venues throughout the Midwest. And before long, he was traveling the nation and performing with some of the most famous jazz musicians like Coleman Hawkins and Lionel Hampton. Now, I just want to ask you all a couple of questions before we go on. Where was Joe Williams from? Okay. It sounds like everyone said Chicago, right? Oh, somebody, okay. That's right. That was a trick question. Remember, Joe Williams was born in Georgia. He grew up in Chicago. I'm glad y'all are listening this morning. What was the name of the band that Joe Williams began to sing with? What was the name of the big band? You know, everything I just heard sounds a lot like Count Basie. Everybody say Count Basie. That's right. So now in the early 1950s, Count Basie heard Joe Williams sing. He was blown away, and he hired him right away, and they toured the world together. By 1954, Joe Williams was a star. He was singing in one of the best big bands of all time, and he was becoming a major attraction with the band. Many fans came to hear the band just to hear him sing. So here's one of his hits from that time. This song is called Every Day I Have the Blues. All right. This song, we started out with just a little bit of it when we began the show, but now let's listen to the whole thing. We learned about blues form and how it tells a story. I want you to listen now for how we're telling a story in this song. This is Every Day I Have the Blues. Every day I have the blues. Every day I have the blues. Will you see me worry, baby? 'Cause it's you I hate to lose. Nobody loves me. Nobody seems to care. Nobody loves me, nobody seems to care. Speaking of bad luck and trouble, well, you know I've had my share. I'm gonna pack my suitcase, moving on down the line. Oh, I'm gonna pack my suitcase, move on down the line. There ain't nobody worrying, there ain't nobody crying. Seems to me every day I have the blues. Every day I have the blues. Every day, every day, every day, every day I have the blues. Well, you see me worry, baby, 'cause it's you I hate to lose. Nobody loves me. Nobody seems to care. Nobody loves me. Nobody seems to care. Speaking of bad luck and trouble, well, you know I've had my share. Oh, yeah. Packing up my suitcase. Down the line, there ain't nobody worrying, and there ain't nobody crying. Seems to me every day I have the blues. I have the blues every day. Every day I have the blues. I have the blues every day. You see me worry, baby, 'cause it's you I hate to lose.
every day I have the blues. Every day.
Milton Suggs. And that song is called Every Day I Have the What? Ah, that's right. Now, while he was performing with Count Basie, Joe Williams toured the world. He traveled to places he only dreamed of. And people just couldn't get enough of his singing. In fact, by 1961, Joe Williams decided that maybe he was famous enough to try something new, and so he struck out on his own after nearly a decade singing with the Count Basie Orchestra. But he and Count Basie stayed good friends for the rest of their lives, and even though Joe left the band to try to make it as a solo singer, he knew that he was always welcome back in Count Basie's band. And that's an important lesson for everyone to learn. Good friendships will last a lifetime. And so from time to time, Joe Williams and Count Basie would reunite and play together. Now, even though Joe loved to swing and shout the blues, he could turn around and get you feeling and thinking with some slower numbers. All of the blues feeling and inflection from the hard swinging pieces also work at slower tempos, but they work in a different way. Let's hear his version of a slower song entitled, Please Send Me Someone to Love.
Heaven is speaking to all mankind for understanding, peace of mind. If it's not asking too much, please send me someone to love, someone to love. Show the world how to get along. Peace will enter when hate is gone. If it's not asking too much, please send me someone to love. I lay awake at night, count the world's troubles, and my answer is always the same. Unless man puts an end to that terrible sin, hate will lay the world to blame. Ain't that a shame? Just because I am in misery, I don't beg for no sympathy. If it's not asking too much, please send me someone to love, someone to love. I lay awake at night and count the world's troubles, and my answer always the same. Unless man and woman put an end to that terrible sin, hate will lay the world to blame, just because I'm in misery. I don't beg for no sympathy, but if it's not asking too much, please send me someone to love, someone to love. If it's not asking too much, please send me someone to love.
That was Victor Goins on the tenor saxophone. And Milton Suggs on the vocals. Now, when Joe Williams set out on his own in the 1960s, jazz was a very different place than it had been in previous decades. Fewer people were listening to jazz, and there were very few big bands still around playing at dance halls. Instead, styles like rock and roll had become the popular music that young people were checking out. But Joe Williams was versatile, and he loved a lot of different styles of music. And what's more, he could take a song and truly make it his own, no matter who sang it previously. In fact, there was one particular popular song from the 1950s that he loved to sing, and he would perform it throughout his career. It's entitled, All Right, Okay, You Win. We'd like to play it for you right now. This is All Right, Okay, You Win.
Well, all right, okay, you win. I'm in love with you. Well, all right, okay, you win. Baby, what can I do? I'll do anything you say. Just got to be that way. Well, all right, okay, you win. I'm in love with you. Well, all right, okay, you win. Baby, what can I do? Anything you say I'll do, as long as it's me and you. But the first thing in the morning, you got to wake me with a kiss. You got to make up for all the loving you have made me miss. Well, all right, okay, you win. I'm in love with you. Well, all right, okay, you win. Baby, what can I do? Anything you do, I'll say. It's just got to be that way. Asking, all I want from you, just love me like I love you, and it won't be hard to do. Well, all right, okay, you win. What are you waiting for? All right, okay, you win. Baby, one thing more, if I'm gonna be your man, Baby, take me by the hand. All right, okay, you win. All right, okay, you win. I'm gonna be your man. Baby, take me by the hand. All right, okay, you win.
All right. Okay. You win. So what Joe found as he continued to tour was that even though the dance halls of the swing era were gone, there were still a lot of people that loved to hear him sing. He would perform at all sorts of places, on cruise ships, in concert halls, or at jazz clubs. He'd even perform for long stretches at hotels in Las Vegas. The music kept him vibrant and happy, and he continued to sing all the way until his final days. When he passed away in 1999 at the age of 80, Joe Williams had been performing for 7 decades. Styles had changed, audiences had changed, fashions had definitely changed. But Joe found a way through it all to sing music that was exciting, swinging, and timeless. So now let's recap what we learned today. Where did Joe Williams grow up? Okay. I'm gonna try it again because I heard a very big kid give the wrong answer. Where did Joe Williams grow up? Chicago, that's right. All right, so now, where was Joe Williams born? Okay. Nice. What kind of music did Joe Williams sing as a young man? As a young man. All right, do you remember when the 4 of us came up here and sing? What kind of music was that we were singing? That's right, gospel music. Joe Williams sang gospel music as a young man. What's the name of the band leader that Joe Williams would work with in the 1950s? It's got 2 words to it. Everybody say it with me. Count. Oh, okay. Count Basie, that's right. And what style of music did Joe Williams love to sing? What y'all got in the balcony up there? What y'all think? That's right, the blues. That's exactly right. Did y'all have a good time today? We certainly hope that you did, and we hope you enjoyed learning about Joe Williams and his music. We're going to hear one more famous song that he loved to sing. This is entitled Rollin' Pete. Thank you all very much for coming.
I got a woman who lives up on a hill. I got a woman who lives up on a hill. She wants to quit me, but I love her still. She got eyes like diamonds, her teeth shine like Fort Knox gold. She got eyes like diamonds, her teeth shine like gold. When she kisses me, she sends my mellow soul. Baby, you're so beautiful, but you got to die one day. You're so fine and you should be mine one day. All I want's a little loving before you pass away. Rollin' boys and jump for joy. I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy as a baby boy. My mama's gonna buy me an automatic kitty car. Early in the morning, everybody's gonna shout. Pretty baby, gone away and leave you by yourself. Pretty baby, gone away and leave you by yourself. You have mistreated me, now you can't mistreat somebody else. I'm crying, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Well, oh, well, oh, well. 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 Well, oh, 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 well. Well, oh, 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 well. Well, oh, 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 well. Baby, bye, bye. Bye, bye. Bye, bye. Drop dead, turn blue woman, I'm through.
Thank you very much. We hope you've enjoyed learning about Joe Williams this morning. We are the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra. You'll have a wonderful rest of your day. Get back to school safely. Take care.
All right, thank you so much. You had a great time. All right, make sure you tell everybody about the wonderful time you had. We're gonna ask everybody to stand fast. Don't move yet. We're gonna exit